Everybody, welcome to Straight Line MTB, and today we're going to show you how to go tubeless and ditch those pesky, stanky tubes. Alright guys, welcome to Straight Line MTB. Today we're going to talk about tubeless. Whether you've done it, you don't know how to do it, or you're trying to do it again, I'm going to show you the steps to take to run a tubeless tire. Get rid of those tubes. It's going to help you keep you on the trail, seal some punctures while you're riding. So before we get started, I just want to share on our channel, we like to share ride reviews of bicycles, also trail rides, other how-to tips and things to get you back on the bike. So go ahead and check out our channel. All right, so let's cut to the chase. So what is tubeless? So tubeless basically gets rid of a tube for your wheels. Most wheels nowadays, you're gonna buy a bicycle or wheels, they're gonna be tubeless ready. And what that means, it's a specific design in the rim bed that allows you to put some tape in the rim to cover the holes. That way the sealant doesn't go into the spokes. This wheel is already taped for tubeless from the factory. This is our Marin Rift Zone stock wheel. It's pretty awesome that it already came ready to go taped. But if you are converting a wheel set that is not tubeless ready and doesn't have the tape, you can get width specific tape for your rim. So figure out what the internal rim width is. This one's 30. This tape is, I think, 25, so it wouldn't work. But you get the specific size that will fit bead to bead. That way you don't have any missing edges when you're putting that tire on. It won't flip out. You can also go the cheap route, which I'm cheap and I like inexpensive things. You can go to Home Depot and get Gorilla Tape. It's kind of a fiber style tape. It seals really well. It's a roll for about $6 or $8. It'll tape a lot of tires. The only downside is you're gonna have to tear it to the size, but I've used it successfully many times and it is my go-to, so that can save you a few dollars. Also, you're gonna need a valve, a tubeless valve, and some levers and some sealant. So today we're gonna try Berryman. It is not a mountain bike specific tubeless sealant, but for $34 I got a whole gallon of it, which is pretty good deals considering some of the other competitors are about $25 to $30 for a pint. So we're going to give it a try today and see how it works out. All right, so to tape a wheel, obviously again, like I said, this one is tape, but here's it starts. You start past the valve and you'll put your tape on. You'll pull it real tight and just start working that tape into the rim bed, and you'll work it all the way around back to the valve opening, and you'll want to overlap the valve opening. That way you're getting the extra seal in that area because you're going to poke a hole there, so double up on the seal is good. And then now we're going to put our valve stem in. So now most valve stems are going to be very similar. This is a Stan's valve stem. It's pretty universal. Some wheels will come with their specific ones if their rim design is unusual. Has to conform. So basically you have your hole that you poked where your valve stem goes, push it in, put your, if the rubber washer is included, use it, and then you're just gonna tighten it down. So now the next step is we want to put our tire on. Most tires are directional, so we'll want to make sure that left side is the brake rotor, and we'll look, most tires have the rotation arrow on it. This one is going to go this way. So I'll stick your rim in, and then you'll want to put one bead on one side. Pick what side you want to put on. Our Pedro's tire lever comes in handy because this is a thick enduro casing tire that doesn't want to go on easy with my gentle hand. So now you got your one side on, and then this is optional if you want to run a tire insert. I run a tire insert. There's Cushcore, there's Nuke-Proof ARD, there's a few other brands. I use the Nuke-Proof one. So that's where now you throw your tire insert in, and then you just do the other side. So now there's two options where you can do for tubeless. You can get most of the tire on and leave a small portion of it open and then put your tubeless sealant in. I like to put the tire on, pump it up with an air compressor. That way it seals the bead. So that way if you don't, then sometimes you can lose the air and your sealant. So it's kind of wastes a bit of a time. Just something that I like to do because a lot of times some tires won't seal as easily because they won't get on the bead, and this one in particular has a pretty stout bead and it's hard to kind of work its way in. So here I'm going to take the valve stem off, set it aside, don't lose it. Put it in your tire lever here so you don't. So now I have my air compressor. I'm going to put it onto the valve and shoot some air in. And do it until you hear it pop, then you know the bead is sealed. So now we got it sealed, and we're going to let the air out so we can insert the tire sealant into the valve stem. So now we're going to put our tire sealant in. I like to use, well, it's good to have a syringe. Some of the tire sealants come with a syringe. I got these syringes on eBay, 24 of them for 10 bucks. I use them for brake bleeding. It's a good tool to have around. So shake up your sealant real good. Get our sealant, clean off our syringe so we don't make a big old mess. And then just insert the tip into the valve stem. So usually on a tire this size, you'll want to, this is a 29er, it's a 2.4. I'll do about 3 ounces per tire. This one is 3/4 of an ounce, so we'd normally put in a few more. And this stuff I've never used before. It seems good, hopefully. It's thick. It reminds me of melted sherbet ice cream, so I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but we will find out. Again, as it's dripping out, I'm gonna go back to the compressor. I'm gonna pump it up. Have your valve stem handy. That way you don't have to go re-pump it up. You push that valve stem in real quick so you don't lose all your air, and then you're good to go. Now we got our sealant in and our tire aired up. So now what you want to do is make sure your valve stem is closed, and then you want to work the tire around. So I like to start here and just wiggle the tire, get the sealant into the tire area, seal any pores, any miss spots in the tape, and just continue to do that and just work it around. Especially at the valve stem area. At that part, I will let it set, get all that sealant down to the bottom of this area, and then flip it up real quick and wiggle it. So what that's doing is it's dripping all the sealant onto that area, and it's gonna seal any leaks, so that sealant's gonna find the nasty holes. All right, so say you're on the trail and you get a hole in your tire. What are you gonna do? All the air's pulled out. That tire. You kind of feel like you're screwed and you wish you had another tube. Well, you can either tube up your tire with the tube that you have in your backpack that you brought on your ride, or if you're like me and you didn't bring that, but you did bring your plug kit that we talked about in our What's in My Bag episode, check that out. So we are going to plug it with our Lezyne tubeless plug repair kit. So this hole that we got is pretty large. So we are going to use the fatter one. So like we talked about in our last video, the Lezyne plugs with their kit are really robust. All right, so now we have our plug into the tool here, and we're just going to insert it into that hole. So sometimes if this tool has a reamer on it, you could go in and ream the hole, but we're not going to do that. So you just push that plug in there. You want to keep it almost all the way, give a few millimeters of that plug sticking out. Give it a nice twist. Twist that plug in there, it gets that hole filled up. It's really sticky, so it should stick in there. So now you want to hold the plug down so it doesn't come out, and then pull that tool out with your Hulk hands, and then now you got to plug it. See? It's nice and vulcanized already, so that's good. So now we're going to go back to our compressor. So now we're going to throw some air back in it and see if we can keep her filled up. Don't forget to pop that bead. Oh, I hear her screaming. So now it's coming out a little bit, so we get our sealant down there and work it in. Then we'll work it down, get that sealant onto the inside around that plug. So now we got it. Just let it kind of set there for a second as you're talking to your buddies about how you doubled that gap jump. It's a great option to not have to pull over and pull a tube. Smash that thing in there, pull it out, get that sealant running around. Sometimes on a hole like this you might lose all your sealant. That's why in our What's in My Bag video, we talked about carrying an extra tube of sealant. That way, throw that sealant in and you're good to get home. Alright guys, so thank you for watching. Hopefully this video was educational for you, help you get some tubeless going. Go ahead and give us a like for this video and subscribe to our channel. Check out our other videos and follow us on all the social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that fun. And also go to straightlinemtb.com and see our awesome write-ups there. Thanks for watching and you guys have a great day. This apparently is a really big hole and embarrassing for my video. Snack that thing. Oh, pause. Can you give me a towel or give me... Oops. Oh no, let's try it again. We blew our valve stem. We didn't screw it up fast enough. Try it again. Oh no, it didn't work.